Detroit is one of the most diverse cities in the world. It's made up of people of all cultures. And I think that has contributed to our strength.
Food, entertainment. The Motown started here. Baseball, football, basketball. Detroit is the big D.
Detroit is derived around the car that Henry Ford brought here, and everything else is branched out from there.
Detroit's a very iconic city. A lot of things were made here, a lot of things were created here. I mean, we were the city, but you can't get caught up in what you were. You know, the population decline really happened in the 50s, started declining in the 60s, and continued to decline until Detroit now is under 700,000 people.
When you're down, you learn and you get tough, and that's what's happened here. You learn, you become very hungry for growth.
I came to Detroit in 2010, and what drew me and made me want to stay was the energy that was here. I believe that there's an opportunity in the bike industry for commuter cycling, and that there's this potential for a growing boom in commuter bikes. The goal for Detroit Bikes is to sell 50,000 bikes a year, which would double the current output of bikes made in the country. This is old school manufacturing. This is the way that companies used to run. The auto legacy inspired this company. I wouldn't have started this business anywhere else. A lot of the people who work here have some experience with the auto industry. So the manufacturing history in general of the city helps make this business a little more feasible. Detroit has been historically a city that got people around, and it's going to continue to be that city.
The Renaissance Center is a beacon for Detroit. It represents a rebirth, and it has a great sustainability story. Taking food scraps from our restaurants. We have 20 restaurants here. Created a wonderful compost that's grown this food that you see and is made available back to our restaurant. We recycle 5 million pounds of material a year. In fact, if you look at it from a household perspective, if you put out one garbage bag to the curb that goes to landfill, in an entire year, you've done more than the Renaissance Center. Recycling is specifically important in Detroit because it'll help create jobs. It drives economies.
You have all these beautiful old buildings. They have old systems in it. And there's such an opportunity to get them to talk together and to deploy smart technologies. So if you think about lighting systems and heating and cooling systems, a lot of the technology in buildings is old. You don't really have any controllability of it. It does not have the ability to communicate back to you. And now with new technologies, we do have that. So the lighting system can literally talk to the heating and cooling system, and someone remotely can control the building and monitor what's going on. We can save energy, we can save money, and we can use all the existing assets and essentially just make them work a lot harder.
I'm the sheep of every beat. Your love belongs to me.
The real attraction, I think, to a lot of people for urbanization in general is to move back to authentic, interesting cities, and that has a lot to do with their existing architecture, the existing layout of the city. So we're trying to preserve as much of that as we can. This is the North Cass neighborhood. This neighborhood was hit very, very hard during the population decline of Detroit. You know, there was a lot of vacant property, a lot of vacant buildings. But what we've seen recently is housing occupancies really go way up. We're now at about 98% occupied through the whole Midtown district. We think everything from beautiful historic buildings to small funky little warehouse buildings. There's people who want them and want to redevelop them. So in a way, our vacancy has allowed us to really begin to rebuild the neighborhood.
To me, Detroit is all about hope and about the future. Detroit is a symbol of how you can recreate a place and how you can take something and maintain all of its historical integrity and move it to the next step.
If people are getting around without a car and we're building cities to a more human scale, not a car scale, I think that you see people get along, you see safer cities, you see greener cities.
Detroit is an amazing role model for other cities because it has the ability to look back at its history, learn those lessons, and leap into the future.